Welcome to the Special Situations training video. In this video, we will discuss how to sample streams that need special protocol adaptations. Please follow along in the Field Protocol Technical Reference 1735-2, Appendix C. Many stream and river systems are more complicated than those systems for which the main Lotic AIM field protocol is designed. Appendix C contains several adaptations that can be made to the main protocol so that high-quality data can still be collected. When sampling a reach that requires protocol adaptations, the Special Situations Appendix should be referenced repeatedly to ensure that the reach is being sampled correctly. As a reminder, to sample a reach using the Lotic AIM protocol, a reach must meet the following criteria. 5 or more transects are wadeable and safely accessible. 5 or more transects are located on BLM land. 5 or more transects have water that is not impounded. Bank full can be identified at 5 or more transects, and the current discharge level is below bank full. The special situations to which the protocol has been adapted are interrupted flow, side channels, beaver impacted reaches, braided systems, and partial data collection. We will focus on interrupted flow reaches first. Interrupted flow reaches have some portion of the reach that is dry, but 5 or more transects have at least standing water. If these conditions are met, the reach should be sampled. When recording data at a reach with interrupted flow, it is important to mark it as an interrupted flow reach and to record which transects are dry and which ones are wet. The entire reach is sampled at interrupted flow reaches, even at the transects that are dry. Appendix C in the protocol outlines the changes that need to be made to the standard sampling methods when collecting data at a reach with interrupted flow. For example, when setting up a reach with interrupted flow, the distance between transects where there is no water present is measured along the center of the dry channel. In contrast, in areas that have water, transect spacing is measured along the thalweg. Another example is at interrupted flow reaches. Bankful and bench height at dry transects are measured from the deepest point in the stream channel along the transect. A common situation that is encountered at AIM points is the presence of side channels. A side channel diverges from the main channel, is separated from the main channel by an island, and eventually rejoins the main channel. The side channel must have a definable channel, an identifiable bankful, and other critical concepts. A protocol reminder. Islands are stream sediment deposits found in the active channel that have an elevation at or above bankful and are usually vegetated with woody vegetation. Mid-channel bars are stream sediment deposits found in the active channel that are above the base flow water level but below the bankful elevation and are usually unvegetated. Data should be collected on side channels regardless of size or presence of water. However, the side channel must be categorized as major, minor, or dry. Major side channels contain more than 15% of the overall flow of the stream. Minor side channels have less than or equal to 15% of the total flow. Dry channels are channels with no flow and include those with standing pools of water. If more than one side channel is present, data are only collected for the one side channel with the widest bankful width. Which one of these side channels should be measured? This is the side channel that should be measured. During reach setup, side channels are flagged similarly to the main transects. To set up a channel transect, visualize the main channel transect continuing over the island to the bank of the side channel that is closest to the main channel. Like that of the main channel and main transects, side channel transects are set up so that they are perpendicular to the thalweg in that channel. Record all side channels located on transects while working through the reach, and record whether each is a major, minor, or dry channel. Only a subset of indicators is collected on side channels. Please see Appendix C for additional guidelines on sampling side channels. The next special situation covered in this video is beaver impacted reaches. Although beaver dams have many positive effects on aquatic systems, they can make sampling and wading reaches very difficult. If more than 6 transects are inundated by beaver ponds, one should try to move the point coordinates so that 5 or more transects are not impacted by the beaver ponds. If it is not possible to move the point coordinates so that 5 transects are not inundated, the specific reach cannot be sampled. Refer to Appendix C in the field protocol when sampling a reach with beaver impacts. Beaver impacts may affect where water quality and macroinvertebrates should be collected, and which methodologies should be adjusted, such as collecting pool and bankful widths. When collecting data at transects impacted by beavers, always make a comment for the transects that had beaver impacts and any additional details that are needed. It is important that plenty of photos are taken at all beaver impacted areas. The next special situation covered in this video is braided systems. Braided reaches typically demonstrate two unique traits. They possess several mid-channel bars below bankful and often do not have a dominant channel. This can make sampling somewhat challenging. The special considerations that one must make in these systems are located in the Braided Systems section of the Special Situation Appendix. In general, as much data as possible should be taken in braided systems at all transects. Record comments for all suspect or estimated values. Usually, the most difficult part of measuring a braided system is setting up the reach. To set up the reach, one must be able to identify thaw wag and follow it consistently. In a braided system, the thaw wag can alter periodically between channels. As one can see in this example, thaw wag is not very easy to find, even from an aerial viewpoint. To set up the reach on a braided system, follow the dominant channel that remains consistent throughout the reach. In this example, what channel should be used to set up the reach? The thaw wag could be here, but it is hard to tell. In this example, you can see the channel network is very complicated. We recommend flagging the channel you follow during each reach setup so you can easily follow the sample channel for specific indicators. The technicalities of sampling braided reaches should be discussed thoroughly before, during, and after sampling. Always refer to Appendix C for specifics about how to sample a braided system. The last special situation covered in this video is partial data collection. Complete data collection should always be attempted at every Lotic AIM reach. Sometimes, even after attempting to move the point coordinates to increase the number of sampleable transects, a portion of the transects may still be inaccessible due to dense vegetation, property changes, dangerous rapids, or terrain features. If this is the case, inaccessible data may be estimated in certain circumstances, but should be noted as estimated. All data that are missing should be noted as not collected and left blank. Zeros should never be filled in as missing data. Consult Appendix C in your protocol on how to collect data on reaches with inaccessible transects. Partial data may also need to be collected if there remains insufficient time to sample a reach completely and returning to the reach is impossible. This may happen if access to the reach is through private land and the landowners will not grant repeat access, or if the reach required backpacking and staying another night is not possible. However, a reach can still be completely sampled at a later date if these conditions don't exist and the reach was abandoned earlier because of bad weather or a long approach hike. Everything should be done within reason to return to a reach that was not fully sampled to finish data collection. If returning to the reach is impossible and partial data must be collected, some measurements should be prioritized over others. First, it should be determined if water quality, macroinvertebrates, and a minimum of 5 transects of physical habitat and pool dimension data can be collected. If these things cannot be collected in the time frame, no collection of data should be attempted. If these data can be collected, consult Appendix C in the field protocol for more details on specific measurement prioritization. Notes should be provided about what data were and were not collected and why the data are incomplete. Please answer the quiz questions that follow this video to review.